Cronenberger. I wanted to make some points clear. I've seen some real nasty videos against our president or against certain political leaders in our nation. As a free country, we never want anybody to hurt our president. I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat. We are a country of freedom. And I was just watching a video of President Biden when he was in office and said we needed to get the leader of Venezuela because he's a dictator. He's bringing drugs into our country. So he was saying the same thing, but no action was taken until President Trump decided to go over there. Now the Venezuelan people are extremely happy. The people in the United States are extremely happy. And a lot of the Spanish people I talked to said they lost any respect for the Democrats because of how they think that the dictator should have still survived and been over there in power. We all know that dictatorships and communism is not healthy and it's not good for the people. In America, we got freedom of religion, freedom of who to vote for, even if people won't show respect to us. And I'm not saying, I voted for President Trump or anything like that. But what I'm saying is, I do agree with some of the things that he is doing. I don't necessarily agree with the way he talks to people, but we all got faults. Not one of us is perfect. So I'm encouraging people, to pray for our president, even if you're not a Republican or a supporter of our president. Pray for him that God will lead him. I have never voted for a candidate without praying on who I should support. My dad was very active in the Republican Party, and he always told me to vote for the candidate, and that's what I do. I voted for Democrats, I voted for Republicans, I voted for independents. It just depends on their values. One is I'm pro-life, as most people know. I believe a marriage is between a man and a woman, and I have a lot of gay friends. I'm not against gay people by no means, folks. I have some dear friends that are gay, and I'm not going to judge them. That's for God to do, to judge people, and I'm not capable of doing that because I am definitely not without sin. But what I'm encouraging people to do is to think before you speak. Quit posting hateful things. There's a guy that's running for Congress in Ohio that's really been posting some hateful things about our president. And that he's not going to get elected because of that. People are tired of the drama. People are tired of seeing all this negative stuff, and they're looking at the candidates. Should I support this candidate? Should I vote for that candidate? That's what they're looking for. And I'm hoping that people will really start looking at the issues before they open their mouths and say really nasty things. And some of these people that are saying nasty stuff profess to be Christians. We know what the Bible says about, about character. And yes, Trump has his flaws, just like any president has. And I'm not going to say he's right on the way he talks to people all the time. But the last 4 years was miserable for our country. So people were tired of it, so people wanted to change. I'm a Ronald Reagan, I'm actually a registered Democrat now, and I may be switching back, but I was a Reagan Republican and a Bush Republican. I liked both of those candidates. I liked how they talked to people, how they were smooth at their communicating skills. I remember Ronald Reagan saying that he and Tip O'Neill, who at the time was the Speaker of the House, they would go out on his boat on the weekends to go fishing. But when it came to politics, they were always at each other. But they were still friends. I respected that. And I'd like to see that again in America. If we could ever get to the point of getting over ourselves and getting over that a different party got elected. You know, because right now I was just looking at the polls for the Senate and Congress, and it looks like Republicans are going to take more seats. And a lot of these people from Venezuela and Spanish-speaking people are very upset with the Democratic Party now. I was listening to some of them on YouTube and on other news channels because of them being up that the Democrats were upset that they arrested the leader of Venezuela who was smuggling drugs in and Lord knows what else. We had to do what's right for our nation, for the kids of our nation. So I'm asking people to do your research. Don't necessarily go by what your party says. Go by what your heart says. Not your brain either, but your heart. Do you want lower taxes? And we always know whenever Democrats get in office, the taxes go up. That's why the Republicans are called conservative. They always go down. And I noticed when I went to Walmart the other day, I got more stuff for what I was, than I used to be able to get. And things were a lot cheaper. I've noticed the price of the gas. Every place I go, I look at the price and it's dropping. And if people say it's not, they haven't been looking at the gas pump. I was just in Cleveland, it was down by 60 cents. Columbus is down too. And I don't know about the other areas of the state, but going down to Cleveland, it was getting a lot cheaper. So can we agree to disagree with respect to each other and show kindness and love just as Christ loved us? And if you profess to be a Christian, be a careful voter. I'm not going to tell you what party to vote for or what candidate to vote for. I think that's for you to decide. And then go from there. But I do believe when you pray, God will lead the right person in office for you. Okay, everybody, I really appreciate this awesome chat we had. Until next time, this is James Cronenberger.